Hello, everybody, and welcome to another, to the women's session of RIL Talks. And the essence of today's discussion is actually to commemorate with the International Women's Day celebration. And much more than just the theme, which we all know as give to gain. It is actually a challenge to every woman out there, defining women's contribution. Now, what actually changes when we stop undervaluing women and their contributions to the society? Today's session, we're going to delve into a very important skill that every woman is encouraged to have to build. And to help us with that, I have the Group Head HR Consulting for Resource Intermediaries Limited in the person of Irene Etu. Welcome.
Thank you.
Today, we want to delve into a very powerful tool called emotional intelligence. We would like to show you how to lead through high pressure environments without burning or losing your voice. So, Irene, what is emotional intelligence?
Uh, Emotional intelligence is actually one of the most underrated leadership tools today. We usually will call it a soft skill, but I can confidently tell you that it is one of the hardest skills ever, especially for women who are in high pressure environments. Now, just simply put, emotional intelligence is being able to understand yourself, understand your emotions. You can call that self-awareness, and understanding how to respond to people in such a way that it drives positive outcomes for both parties. So now, leadership is not just about being smart or technically competent, right? It's understanding that your tone, your reaction to people, how you respond to them really, really matters, right? So it's the ability for you to be able to understand yourself to the point of knowing how those your reactions also affect others, and you are able to tune your emotions in such a way that it doesn't affect the other person, especially in the corporate space. So for women, it can actually turn out to be a very strategic tool because, having emotional intelligence will help you to navigate any environment that you find yourself. So it's a very, very critical and important tool in leadership.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this will lead me to my second question. Now, so most of our colleagues have labeled us, even in the corporate world, in the office space, as being emotional. Some of us, they say, okay, we are being too authoritative and all of that, or aggressive. Now, how can women use this powerful tool, emotional intelligence, to be firm and authoritative without being labeled all of these names?
Okay, so one of the biggest issues that women have in the corporate space is that for something that a man will be referred to as being assertive, a woman will be said to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Now, truth be told, for me, there's a thin line between being aggressive and being assertive. Especially in the corporate space, is that same behavior that a man will be termed assertive for, a woman will be said to be aggressive. Right? And for the techniques that I think is going to work that has worked for me, and I know will work for all women, is what I term calm authority and quiet confidence.
Say that again.
Calm authority and quiet confidence. Truth be told, there's a thin line between being assertive and being aggressive. We must be aware of that. For the fact that you want to be assertive is not an excuse for you to be rude or allow emotions to escalate.
Okay.
There's always a difference. So in the process of calm authority, it's a situation where you are firm, you are clear, you are composed, but your emotion is not escalating. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If you're working with, let's say, a male counterpart, a female colleague, what have you, and you are trying to come to an agreement on a particular work task that you have in front of you, and maybe your male colleague is not accepting it, you're not comfortable with what is coming from your other colleagues. Instead of saying, it's very easy to say, this doesn't make sense.
True.
So rather than say this doesn't make sense, you can say something like, can we revisit this objective data, as this might not bring us the results that we are looking for. Calm, clear, composed, but
Pass the message.
It will get you the results that you are. The key here is emotions should not escalate, because it's very easy for emotions to just go over. So with calm authority, you are respectful, yet you're passing the message across.
Across.
And with quiet confidence is being able to express your value in words.
Okay.
Your value is seen, your value cannot be excused, your value cannot be pushed aside because your work shows your value. So your worth cannot be debated. It's seen,
True.
it's felt, it's known. So it's quiet confidence in the sense that people see and know your work.
Your work. So my third question, Irene, would be how can women, especially when we're talking about career women, how can women set boundaries? Most career women pride themselves on being super efficient until they crash. So how can career women, use emotional intelligence to set boundaries?
If you don't set boundaries, you will burn out.
Yeah.
And burnout rarely happens suddenly. They are usually signals.
Really?
They are usually, tiny bit signals that you would have been seeing, and you might be ignoring. So it doesn't, you don't just burn out. There are things that starts happening that you know that, oh, this is leading to burnout. So what emotional intelligence helps you to do is to identify those simple signals and signs that you are getting there, right? And that is something we can term the flicker before the flame. So that's what emotional intelligence does. You recognize those times, those things that are happening that could cause you a burnout. And that is when a leader, a woman, anybody should know that it is time to step back, right? Because what self-awareness does for you is to recognize that your mental bandwidth is getting thin. Once it's getting thin, then you know that there's something wrong, and that is when you now know you need to say no, and what we can call the strategic no. And saying no is not being unhelpful. Saying no is recognizing that you need to step back a little bit so that you can regain yourself and be able to give the best that you're supposed to give. So in this case is sustainable leadership to say no. To strategically say no.
Strategically saying
To
no.
strategically say no is sustainable leadership, because you need to be able to give your best. In the process of burnout, there's no way you can do that. So you would definitely crash if you do not set boundaries. So boundaries in today's digital work culture is a must. You must set boundaries, and it's not being unhelpful.
Okay, thank you so much, Irene, for that exposition. So now my next question would be, this is for you now. So imagine you're the only woman in the room and the pressure is on. So what emotional intelligence scripts do you run in your head to maintain that Irene's confidence? Maybe we can learn from it.
Okay, this is quite personal. Okay, so I often experience imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is you not believing that you deserve or you should be in a particular place or you can handle a particular task, that you are giving. So I always have that. So there's always this internal dialogue going on inside, asking myself, how am I even here? Why am I here? Why do they believe so much in me? Am I sure I can handle this?
Wow.
Yeah, so that happens, really frequently. But emotional intelligence is something that helps me a lot. And so what it does is it helps me to twist or change that mindset. Those questions, that internal dialogue, it redirects the internal dialogue and says, okay, instead of me saying, how am I even here? Or why do they believe in me? Then I'm telling myself, okay, I am here already. What value can I bring
to the table?
What value can I contribute? What perspective am I bringing in here that will be heard, that will be adopted, and that will make me more visible within that space.
That's deep.
That's something.
So I hope you learned something today. Yeah. So instead of you having those battles within, you need to come to the reality. This is who I am. This is where I am now,
And I deserve
to be here. Every woman, please take a pause. Tell yourself, just like I would say, clock it. Please tell yourself, I deserve to be where I am now.
do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Irene. Thank you so much. So, okay, it's been an amazing session, Irene. But before I let you go, I have two high energy questions. Now, the first is what is the first thing a leader should do when So we're talking about women now, yeah. But when she has realized, she has lost her cool in a meeting.
The mirror test.
Okay, what's that?
Yeah, and so what the mirror test does is you take responsibility immediately for that action, for that situation that has happened.
Okay.
Why? Accountability builds respect. So acknowledge the moment, reset the tone, move forward.
Wow.
That way, your team members understand. Oh, I'm also human. She's also human, right? But you have reset what has just happened. You've changed, the atmosphere in the room, right? So it's always important. Take responsibility immediately and change the situation.
Irene 101. You know, every day, every guest, I have a particular textbook for them. So Irene 101, when you realize you've lost the call, acknowledge the error, set the tone, and move forward. Thank you so much, Irene. And there's one emotional intelligence habit every woman in this session should start tomorrow morning.
Simple. Pause before reacting. That singular habit can change everything. Conversations, relationships, tough situations that you think, oh, they're so heated.
Yeah.
Pause before reacting. That helps you to reset, and get yourself back in composure.
My viewers out there, Irene 102, pause before reacting. Thank you so much, Irene, for lending your voice to women out there, for lending your voice to us. And Irene has been in a leadership role for over 10 years, right? Thereabouts, yeah. So permit me to say she knows about everything she has talked about, and this is coming from our own experience in the corporate world as a career woman. So for all women out there, this is how we are giving to you guys this season. We talked about emotional intelligence, the essence of emotional intelligence, a very powerful tool you must use if you want to climb up the ladder, whatever level you're currently on. So till we meet again, this is RIO Talks hosted by Resource Intermediaries Limited. So this is Resource Intermediaries Limited, your preferred HR outsourcing, HR consulting, and business process outsourcing company. And then we are here for you. Please follow us on all our social media handles, and please click the subscribe button on YouTube to get new videos on our discussions, which are very relevant in the today's work. So till we meet again.